Hey, this is Rodney Miller with Hard Money Partner. Today I got Ryan Davis on the show, and me and Ryan are just gonna start a series of discussions about real estate investing and what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and kind of some lessons we learned over the years. We should call this real estate advice from men with whiskers, because you see a lot of 20-year-olds giving advice, and they've never been through a recession, a downturn. They've never been, through a lot of stuff that some of us older guys have been through. We're not sexy and young and great looking and all that, but we know where the bodies are buried, and we know
we have gray hair.
We've been through some cycles, right, Ryan?
Yep, this is my second downturn I've been through.
Yes, sir. So, all right. So today we're going to talk about, I want to ask a couple questions, Ryan. I'm going to start off with just tell me about your experience. How long you've been investing in real estate? What's your niche? And how many deals do you think you have under your belt?
I started in 2002, so that's 21 years. First few years I was working for somebody else. I wasn't doing it on my own. I didn't have enough money. I've been doing this on my own with my own money since 2006.
Okay.
So 15 years, 17 years, something like that.
How many transactions do you think you've done over that time?
300, give or take a little bit.
And and your niche is kind of flipping, rehabbing and flipping. And you got some rentals, but how many of those, how many rentals do you have, and how many flips? Most of those flips, rehab?
Most of those are flips, yeah. And just to clarify, 300 transactions is not wholesaling. Those are properties that I've bought, closed, rehabbed, and resold. Okay. So, when you're wholesaling a deal and you count that as a transaction, you're not really, the amount of experience you get from one wholesale deal is a fraction.
Gotcha. So you are a true rehabber. That's your business.
Yes.
And the purest.
I have two full-time contracting crews going 24, or not 24/7, but as much as they want to work, typically I have two full-time crews going. So.
Okay. And you've got some rentals. How many rentals are you holding on to right now?
20 something, right around 20.
Okay. All right. So your full-time gig is flipping houses, basically. You got two rentals for long-term, maybe retirement or whatever.
For retirement.
For the most part, you're a rehab flipper. Okay. So here's my question to you. Out of the 20-something years you've been investing and the 300-something deals that you have done, how many of those did you get off the MLS?
3 or 4.
3 or 4?
Yeah.
Out of 300?
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that a little bit, because here's why I brought this topic up. I get a lot of, as a hard money lender, guys are bringing me deals all the time that they got from realtors off the MLS. And I'm the guy that has to break their heart and shit on their deal and tell them, hey, look, it's really not a deal. It's too skinny. And the value that the realtor told you is not realistic. They have to repair value and all this stuff. And I'm the same way. I've done over 300 deals over the last 20, 25 years. And no, actually, I've been in business 20 years. Over the last 20 years. And I maybe bought 1 or 2 off the MLS. I don't know. But very few. I can count them on one hand. So I want to bring this up because I just want people that are watching my show and they're wanting to get into the real estate business. I just want them to know, I want to give them the cold hard facts that you're not going to build a real estate business if you're relying on realtors and the MLS. You want to expand on that?
Sure. And not to contradict the whole point of the conversation, but somebody that does not want to do real estate full time, has a regular full time job, and wants to do it as a retirement gig would be the exception to that rule. You just want to buy some rentals for long term. You've got a regular job, then go to MLS. That's going to be your best bet.
Yeah, and I'm kind of talking about people who want to make it this a business, quit their job. And
that can't do that off MLS for sure. Reason being, you've got everybody that is looking for a deal, looking for a house for a rental, that's looking for a house to move into. They're all going to see the same deal, and you're just not going to get. You're just, it's basic supply and demand. I mean, you've got a limited supply of discounted deals off MLS with an extremely high demand, so you end up with you're not really getting a discount. You're paying what it's worth.
Sure.
And the condition it's in.
It's too easy, basically. It's why everybody wants to go that route. It's easy. Yeah, I'll just find a realtor and they'll bring me these great deals and I'll buy them and all that. Well, everybody thinks that way, and anything is easy. Everybody's trying to do it. So that's kind of the pitfalls of the MLS. Once it hits the MLS, everybody sees it and everybody is going after it. And, and especially in today's market where people are paying top dollar for, owner occupants are paying top dollar for houses and stuff is not sitting on the market that long. Yeah. Your chances of getting a good deal are pretty much zero. So, but if you want to buy rentals and you want to pay too much for the rentals and you want to get in the game and you want some kind of retirement and you want to wait 20 years for the thing to pay off, it doesn't cash flow and you're probably out of pocket. Maybe you get one to cash flow. Most of those don't even cash flow. I mean, honestly, let's be really honest. Even if you're just doing this and you don't want to build a business out of it, you buy it off the MLS, most likely it might break even, but somebody's going to move out and they're going to leave the place trashed or whatever. And you're going to have a $10,000 bill to get it back the way it was. Now you're in the hole. But over time, if you're willing to put up with that crap over, 10, 15 years, it will appreciate. Rents will go up and it'll pay off, right?
Right. And more so when interest rates were low. Now that interest rates are higher, it really doesn't work now.
Yeah.
When you could borrow money at in the 3% range for a 30-year mortgage, you could cash flow.
That's true. I never put anything on a 30-year mortgage. That always was too long for me. I didn't think I'd live to see the day. But yeah, a lot of people do that. It would cash flow back in the day when you got the 3%, 4% debt and put it on 30 years. That would cash flow like crazy. You just never pay it off. It take forever to pay it off. So
I
don't know. Okay, good deal. Well, so that's the problem. What's the solution?
Hard work. There's no substitute for hard work.
Hard work and spending some money, right?
Yeah. The best
risk. You got to take a little risk.
One of the best deals that I ever made. I had a phone number for somebody. They would not answer their phone. They were about to lose their house in foreclosure. They lived in a different state. I drove 12 hours to go knock on their door because they refused to answer the phone.
Wow.
Never talked to them, didn't know what they would do, what they would say, but it was a good deal. I knew they were going to, it was scheduled for foreclosure sale in a week. I drove to Georgia, went and knocked on their door.
Damn. And you got the deal? Obviously?
And I got the deal.
And that's one thing you do. I mean, I know that you do advertising and stuff, but you still go knock on doors, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You put the shoe leather in. You'll go knock on a door and you'll ask them if foreclosures if they want a better option than getting foreclosed on. Foreclosures,
tax sales. Yeah, there's all kinds of avenues of people that get in distress. That even with advertising, you're going to get competition. I don't get very many advertising leads that the people aren't talking to 5 other investors that are advertising as well.
But even that's getting better right now. I mean, we're coming out of a crazy last 5 or so years. That's when I jumped out of the market.
Yeah.
But don't you feel like it's coming back around?
It is. The there's not as many wholesalers. Interest rates are higher, so the wholesalers don't have as good of an end game or as many end buyers. So yeah, it seems like there's not as much competition out there right now as there has been, just due to interest rates, and that's always a good thing.
Yes, exactly.
But the best deals you're ever going to get are the deals that you're the only one that knows about.
That's what I tell people all the time. You want to get the good deals. You want to get the 50 cents on the dollar deals, the 60 cents on the dollar, the deals that are going to cash flow, the deals are going to have some meat in them, meat on the bone, because you're buying them right. Because when you send out postcards, or when you do Google pay-per-click, or when you go knock on a door, you're the only one they're talking to usually, or it's just a couple of people. It's not 500 or 1,000 people,
Yeah.
Bidding for that same property. And so, yes, there's risk. Yes, you got to spend some money up front. Yeah, you got to learn more, and you got to put more effort into the business. But that's where you're going to get your meaty deals, right?
Yeah. There's no such thing as getting rich quick.
Exactly. You might go in the hole first. You might go in the hole before you get that big $30,000 net profit and pay off some of your advertising expenses. But
my very, very first deal I ever did with my own money, and granted, I had several years experience making deals using somebody else's money. So I had a relatively decent idea of how the numbers work and things like that, but I'd never done the work. So my very first deal, I did almost all of the work myself. It wasn't a big rehab. It was paint, carpet, countertops, light fixtures, just kind of a cosmetic update. But I did all this stuff myself, worked on it for months and months. I made $1,500. So I did not make minimum wage.
At least you didn't lose money.
Yeah.
Lost some time, but you didn't lose money.
Yeah.
So I've had plenty of those.
Yeah, but I learned a lot, and that's just it. If you're lose money on your first deal and you get discouraged and quit, that's you just because you lost money, consider that, learning that as an expense.
Yeah, don't give up.
Yeah.
Keep plugging away at it. You'll get better at it. Every deal you do, you'll get better at it. You might lose money on some deals. You might break even on some deals. You'll be frustrated because you spent 6 months of your life on this deal and you didn't make a lot of money, or you maybe lost a little money or whatever, but you're learning a shitload of information that you can take to the next deal. And
learning rehabs, learning how to assess costs, learning, transactional cost, carrying costs, taxes, insurance costs, all those different things that you probably didn't think about going into it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a little harder to get started when you're advertising, but the payoff is so much better. And if you land a few deals in a row and you make them work, then your advertising expenses covered pretty quickly and you're making money. So, I mean, what's a typical profit margin you shoot for on a deal, on a rehab flip, where you're going to invest several months of your time into a deal? And is there kind of like a minimum profit margin that you'll accept on a deal? Is it by the size or percentage of the size of money that's invested? How do you gauge that?
I do it based off of a percentage, because it's, you're thinking about it truly as an investment. I mean, if you think, okay, well, hey, I just made $25,000, but it was a $500,000 house that you tied up $400,000 in for a year and you made $20,000, that's not a very good return.
Well, let's flip that over though. How about if you have a $75,000 house and you get a 20% return on that? Is that worth your time?
Yeah.
It is worth your time?
Yeah.
It's the same amount of effort, really, isn't it, to do a little house and a big house or whatever? It takes your time, right? Time is money, but you're saying that you would, as long as you get that percentage, you're good with that.
Yeah. 20 to 25. I try to shoot for 25%. That in recent years with more competition and stuff like that has been a little bit more difficult to get, but I'm pretty consistently can get that or a little bit better if I average things out, because there's definitely ones that I get less than 20% on, and there's definitely ones I get more than 20% on, or 25%.
So Brian, tell us about one of your best. Well, just give us a good recent flip that went really well and you made some money. Tell us about that.
One of the recent ones, it was one of the most, not the most, but one of the most disgusting houses I've ever bought. You walk through, your shoes stick to the floor when you walk through. It was infested with fleas. It was disgusting, just absolutely disgusting. But work-wise, it wasn't. There wasn't damage. There wasn't major things that needed to be done to it. It was just filthy McNasty. And the people were willing to sell very cheap just because they felt like that it needed so much work, which it really did not need that much work. I mean, it needed quite a bit, but I'm talking, it was a $150,000 house. It needed $50,000 worth of work. But I think I got it for 35 or 45,000,
Holy crap.
just because it was just disgustingly nasty.
Wow. Was it vacant?
No, it was an older person that lived there that just couldn't take care of it anymore, and their kids were involved. Their kids contacted us to go look at it for them, because they were taking their mom to move in with them because she just couldn't take care of the house anymore, and they didn't realize how bad it had gotten. So they were pretty embarrassed by the whole thing, that their mom was living that way in that filthy of a house.
Gotcha. Okay, so purchase price, you say 35,000?
Yeah.
Needed 50,000 rehab?
Yep.
You rehabbed it?
Rehabbed it and got 150, 155, something like that out of it. Yeah, made 40.
After holding costs and all, what was your net profit on that deal?
42, I think it was.
Made $42,000 on that one deal. See, that's the magic of advertising and finding those buyers. Your realtor's never going to bring you a deal like that. Stop trying. Stop trying.
I had another deal that was, just speaking of some of the powers of advertising of deals you'll never get any other way. It was a house. It was free and clear. It didn't even need that much work. It just needed your basic, carpet and paint, new appliances, just a cosmetic refresh. She couldn't get her kids to move out. So I'm selling the house and moving to assisted living. I move out, you get to evict my kids. That was the deal.
I've had a few of those.
So, and that was a good deal. But she was current on taxes. She maintained her house. She didn't have a mortgage on it at all. She was just tired of her kids.
Gotcha. I'm not gonna let you off the hook. Give me the numbers, man. I like numbers.
I don't remember on that one. That one was a few years ago. It was probably a 250 house. I think I got it in the 150 range, just because the square footage. Probably spent 30 or 40 on it. So I made 35 probably when it was all said and done.
Okay, cool.
But it was a quick one. Like, it wasn't a 3 or 4 month long rehab to get it back on the market. It was in 6 weeks it was back on the market.
Wow. Okay. So quick.
So which when you're looking at what your returns are going to be, time is a big factor to look at. If it's a big rehab, it's going to take months. You need to factor in months of taxes, insurance, utilities, carrying costs. If there's going to be things that are going to have to be permitted from the city, you need to factor in extra time because the city doesn't give a crap about your schedule.
Yeah. And that's a podcast for another day, because that's a whole nother subject. But I have a spreadsheet when I underwrite deals for borrowers, and I factor those in for them, because a lot of the new people, believe it or not, they don't factor that stuff in. I'm like, they're like, I'm buying it for 100. I'm putting 150 into it. It's worth 200. I make $50,000. I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not. Let me put it in my spreadsheet here. You got to pay. Anyway, we can get to that some other time.
Yeah, if you're paying 100 and you're putting 50 more into it and it's worth 200, you're going to make 20. You're going to have $30,000 in carrying costs, taxes, insurance, closing costs, and commissions when you resell it, and miscellaneous things you didn't think of.
Yep, absolutely. All right, brother. Well, appreciate you opining on that subject. MLS is not your friend if you're a wannabe full-time real estate investor. And,
it is not. Don't waste your time. Look for something more productive, because that is not a good use of your time.
How do people get a hold of you if they ever want to ask you questions or reach out to you?
They can email me, they can call me, they can text me.
We'll put it in the show notes. Give it to them.
Sure. rdavis@webuyhouses.com is my email address. Pretty simple. 405-971-4049 is my number. You can call me, you can text me. Just tell me where you got your number from, so I don't think you're a spammer.
Okay, perfect. Rock and roll, baby. Rodney Miller, Hard Money Partner. We appreciate everybody out there. We made 4 loans last month, some in Texas, some in Oklahoma. We are rocking and rolling. The phone's ringing off the hook because lenders are tightening up and deals are appearing. So don't be shy. Give us a call. Hard Money Partner, Rodney Miller. Till next time, appreciate you.